Hello everyone, welcome to the world tour of this server here. I'm currently the only one, and probably will most of the time be the only one on here, because Noah, who owns this server, usually isn't online, but that's fine. I just need a server instead of single-player world to play on, because, I don't know, I just don't really have motivation to play in single-player worlds. Anyway, I've built this little starter house, and I've kind of chosen a bit of an interesting design because of the way I've made this terrain. So this used to be just one big flat piece of land with trees. I cleared out all of the trees, and then I added this beach around here, because this was the beach. There was barely a beach around here. It was gravel everywhere. There was grass. It just didn't look very good. So I added this beach, and then I started adding layers onto here. As you might be able to see here, yeah, this is all layered on top. How do I get that? This is all just layered on top of the original terrain. I'll be doing more detail on this. Detailing, like adding some little rocks, little cobblestoney sections, some leaves, obviously bone mealing the dirt, maybe adding some more details around here. But for the most part, the main outline of the terrain is done. And what I was trying to say is that the terrain kind of shaped the structure of the house. So originally I just wanted to make a long rectangle house, but I realized that if I build a long rectangle going that way and that way, then there would be a lot of land wasted over here, and the house would just be very thin, which would make it very much not practical for actually using as a starter base. So I decided to add this little diagonal section, which was very hard to build for me for some reason. These pillars just weren't lining up at all with the windows. They kind of look wonky anyway, because this one is... oh, that's a zombie. Because this one is kind of jutting out, and this one is flat with the wall, but I think it's good enough. And yeah, some diagonal windows with these trapdoors for extra detail. And these windows also actually need to add trapdoors here. I might keep it empty and see how it looks. But yeah, just some windows over here and more diagonal sections back here. This back section, I was originally thinking of making it kind of like a dome. Then I realized that would be very difficult to build, especially for me, who isn't a very great builder. And so I just decided to make this 2-block wide double door place to exit into the backyard, and then just add diagonal windows on the sections that were diagonal like this, and add a bit of pillars, a bit more detail around here to connect the roof, and I think it actually looks good. This section is mostly flat because the terrain is mostly flat, so there was no point in making diagonal sections here. This does mean the house isn't symmetrical, and therefore the roof is turned out a little wonky. I'm using wonky way too much. I don't normally say that word. Anyway, if we build up here, you might be able to see what I mean. So the roof doesn't go straight across. It kind of goes a little straight here, if I can parkour. Yeah, it goes straight here, then it goes kind of diagonal. Oh, and those guys. This is the worst time to record. It's raining. There are phantoms everywhere. I think I am gonna go sleep and come back here, also to get rid of the rain. So yeah, I'll be right back. Now, as I'm going through the nether roof to get to my bed, all the way at Noah's area, I'm gonna, talk a little bit about how long the server has been active for. So it has been on for 6 months, but Noah said that he doesn't play on it very often, so it doesn't have that much progress. Just in his area, just some basic buildings and farms and little contraptions like a super smelter, some wheat and carrot potato farms, and stuff like that. So this server isn't very advanced. This is probably the most advanced thing here, which is medium-sized gold farm with currently actually very little storage. But yeah, don't expect too much from this tour at the moment. Oh, I should probably turn this off actually. That's by the way, that's a little super smelter I made, which has a major flaw, actually. If you put in more than 5 stacks of items, it'll just get stuck. Which, yeah, is a bit of a problem. Anyway, let's go sleep. But yeah, this is Noah's house. It's actually pretty cool. Nice little build. Much more standard, just kind of like a square with a pretty decent looking roof. He built this exact same house on a different server that I played with him. So yeah, this is like his signature house. Anyway, I can show you around the spawn area a bit. Actually, this isn't really the spawn area. This is like 1,200 blocks out, but this is his area. This is a weird. There's nothing on top of that platform. It just has this block swapper to swap the what is this thing called? Magma blocks, yeah. Swap the magma blocks for soul sand, so you go up, and then it switches to back to magma blocks to suck you down when you want to go down. There's nothing up there, so not much to show. Just some basic sugarcane farms. Built this bridge, and oh yeah, this super smelter, just a 10 furnace smelter, which, as I said, has a major flaw. Yeah, just a little sugarcane farm, some wheat farms, and that over there, if it renders in, it is the house that he gave me. It kind of has a slanted roof, looks pretty cool. It's in a diamond shape with a slanted roof. But yeah, it had like a little for sale sign and everything. I didn't actually buy it from him, he just gave it to me for free. He also gave me all of this gear, which I added some more enchantments onto, because it had pretty sucky enchantments before. I'll probably stay with this gear for a while, but in a future episode, I'll probably go and get myself fully maxed out gear, explore the end. I think he beat the Ender Dragon as well. I'll explore the end, get an elytra so I can fly around, and that would be really good. Yeah, this is before I had the furnace smelter. I just had a ton of furnaces lined up here. Anyway, I'm here to take my bed and relocate it to my location. This place is actually really nice. It has this little shallow lake in the middle with pretty nice looking mountains. I particularly like this area with the like little peak in the middle, and then two, like, it's kind of like a shattered piece of mountain. Just on a much smaller scale than the actual biome. Yeah, I kind of like this place. It would have been cool to build like a starter house here and bridges in between here. But yeah, I decided to build in a different place, which I'll explain a bit later when we come back. Oh yeah, I also did all of these torches on the first day I came here. I came here at night. There were mobs everywhere, because the only places that were lit up were next to that building and this building. And like his house. So I just went around this whole area on every single block up until the mountain. I didn't do that part. I just lit up this whole place, so we would have no problems living here. Oh yeah, I didn't show you this, which is a little trading hall you started. So there's some villagers here with somewhat decent enchantments. Silk touch and sharpness 5 for 19 emeralds. That's actually really good. Currently the server is on easy, so I want him to switch it. I want him to switch it to hard mode, because then we can cure villagers, or turn them into zombies and cure them and make them lower the prices. So we buy each book for a single emerald in a single book. But yeah, he's got some pretty nice enchantments. Pretty sure he has mending here. Yeah, mending for 16. That's not bad. Yeah, I think you said there's another village somewhere, so we can get some villagers and put them in a villager breeder, and make a properly big trading hall with pretty much every enchantment for 1 emerald, after I cure all the villagers a couple of times. But yeah, let's go back through the portal, and get back to the base, and I'll keep showing off my house, I guess. Because it's the only thing I've built so far, other than that super smelter. I think it is that way. Yeah. We have these little torch paths. I don't actually know where many of these go. I think one of these null, yeah, his IGN is null. One of these goes to a village with a little outpost he built. So we might go over there soon and boat over some villagers on ice, because my place is on ice, or my place is close to icebergs. Can build a little ice path and bring them over. If you have noticed, I mean, you had to have noticed, we're on another roof, because there's this little trick where, actually, do I have the stuff to demonstrate? I can try it. So you can use a ladder and an ender pearl. Let's say this this stone block is the bedrock. You can kind of build this on the top layer of bedrock and use an ender pearl into here, and then you can kind of jump. Since you're gonna land on top of this ladder like this when you ender pearl, you can just jump up and you will end up on this stone block, which is the nether roof. And then we can just build a portal up here and have a network of portals linked to a portal in the overworld. It's just much more convenient than using the actual nether underneath, because we don't have to dig any tunnels or anything. We just make torch paths, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll go through, and let's see here. Yeah, so my portal's over here. I've kind of claimed this land. I'm next in an iceberg biome in the ocean, and I mainly picked this area also next to a jungle because of, believe it or not, the watercolor and the grass color. If I want a more kind of, I don't know how to explain this, not saturated green color for grass, I can just build out a platform or some terrain in the ocean, connecting to the jungle, and have my non-saturated grass color. If I want to have saturated grass color, I have a gigantic jungle that spans all the way to spawn. And as you can see, I've built my house on a little section there. And also, the watercolor in the iceberg biome is really dark pink. Oh, not really. It's kind of like bluish purple. Yeah, I can't colors apparently. But I really like this color. I like the darker colors. Even though the lighter colors work with some builds, I want to make a little, not a very little actually, but underwater Megabase. Similar, actually inspired by maybe Grian's Evo series base that he had in the ocean. I like the darker color for those types of bases, even though I've never built one. I think it'll work better. And I just in general like this darker color. Plus, the benefit is I have a ton of ice. So for a while, if I need ice, I can just go and stab at these icebergs and get a ton of ice, especially as I have a silk touch pickaxe, which is almost broken. How did that happen? Anyway. Yeah, it's a really nice biome next to another really nice biome. So I'm thinking all of my more regular house builds and just buildings in general will go in the jungle biome. But the mega base I want to build, which will have more like farms in it and just be more abstract, will go in the ocean over there. Which is really convenient because I don't have to travel far between those two areas to get to my builds. I can just build here and here. It's the best of both worlds. Anyway. Where was I on the house? Oh yeah, the roof. The roof is kind of weird in places because the center of the house back here is kind of in the middle, but as you can see, the doorway over there is not at all the center of this back section, because this back section gets expanded a little. So I had to make the center of the roof here, but then on the front I had to make the center of the roof here. So it's kind of off-center halfway through the house, and I think it looks better in this place. I might change the roof up a little bit on the other side, because on the other side it looks kind of too diagonal. Like this section is jutting out too far. I might remove a couple blocks here and see how it looks. But yeah, I'm overall pretty happy with it. It's a little kind of different for roof design than I would normally do. I would usually just do a straight roof without any of this kind of drooping happening here. I decided to challenge myself a bit and add more detail than usual, and I think it looks pretty good. Sadly, because of this little lip here that I've added for detailing, and I don't think it will look very good if I remove it. You can't see a huge portion of the roof from the bottom, but when we get elytras and we can fly around and stuff like that, I'm sure the roof will be much more visible. I'm very happy with how it turned out in the front, so if I get my sand and build up a little. Yeah, the front looks really nice. I've tried not to make a straight diagonal. Tried to make it kind of diagonal here and then go up, so it's not just a generic diagonal shape. Yeah, I'm overall pretty happy with this house. I've added some stairs for kind of detail to emphasize that this house is kind of old. Oh yeah, I want to place my bed here. I should probably light up the inside of the house, as it is currently completely dark. And mobs are so gonna spawn in here and blow it up, and I'll be really sad. Because I don't have much resources right now to use up on creepers blowing stuff up. I have no idea if I'll be able to fit much things in the attic because of how droopy the roof is. It kind of fills a lot of the space. I might be able to have a tiny attic up here, but I think it's just better to cover this whole thing up with a ceiling, and if I need more space, just make an underground basement section. But yeah, this is pretty much what I've done on this server so far. Expect many episodes going forward, as I'm gonna be treating pretty much this whole area as my survival world, because, I don't know, I just haven't been finding motivation to play on my actual survival world. A server just much more appealing to me. It's much easier to invite friends to check out your builds and help you with stuff, and also play with Null whenever he can be online, which I think he can be online today, actually. So we might do some stuff together. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just find it much funner to play on a server. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about this. So this section kind of goes out and there's nothing here. Planning on doing a little bit of terraforming around here, and I might make this like little pond a little smaller so there's a walkway here, and make a little backyard with like some, I don't know, gardens, maybe a little farm. I'll surround this place in fences or something. I'll make it look nice. I'm not used to building a house before I have like 3 or 4 farms set up. Usually my worlds look like just random farms in boxes before I actually have a decent looking house. So this is kind of a different start for me. But yeah, kind of liking this, starting out with building instead of the usual redstone stuff. I'm not super great at building, but I think this house turned out pretty good. I'm gonna add a bit of more detail with like cobblestone around here and stuff. But yeah, I overall like it. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's much more to say. I'll probably talk more about what I'm gonna be doing in this area next episode, because currently I actually can't really envision what I want either the water base to look like, or this whole section. If I want to build like these types of houses, if I want to build random builds, if I want to build builds with a purpose, so like build a farm and then make a building around it instead of just building builds for the sake of building stuff. I'll probably actually do that. Most builds will probably have a purpose around here. And I've actually, like a month or so ago, I've rewatched a tour of Scarland, and actually this forest setting I found is much better for people like me who usually don't build very huge builds in the beginning, because you can kind of just spam trees and make paths through the forest that lead to other builds, and kind of I don't know, they're kind of hidden in the forest. Unlike a lot of the time, the build is just in a big plains biome, where it's just this tiny thing in this giant biome. But if you kind of surround it with trees and make a little path leading to it with a little section open around it, the build looks kind of like it fits into the environment better. So I think what I might do... Oh, actually, this nice color... What biome is this? Let's see, I took a screenshot. Minecraft River. It's also not a bad color. I like the darker colors of blue. Anyway, what I was saying is I think I would be experimenting with that kind of style around here. Just spamming a ton of trees and putting builds in little plots that I cut out of those trees to make them kind of not look tiny in comparison to the giant open environment that they're usually in. I'm thinking of surrounding a large section of the jungle biome in like mountains and stuff, although I'm not sure if I can endure the suffering of building giant mountains to make like a natural-ish looking barrier around this sort of area. I think for now, what I'm going to be doing is expanding this kind of sort of island that I have. If I cut off this section and make a little river, I can turn this whole place into an island. I'll cut out the trees and build stuff and then add my own trees to suit the environment more. Yeah, I think those are the short-term plans for this series. Anyway, I'm looking forward to building here and making some redstone contraptions as well, probably. So automation is always great. Actually, that's a pretty good view of the roof from up here. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for this tour. There's not much on this server yet, but there will be more to come. And I hope I stay interested in making videos for a long enough time that there's actually quite a bit of progress made in here, and I make a pretty cool world. Because knowing me, I've kind of flip-flopped between different servers and not stayed on a single server for more than like a year. So yeah, hopefully making videos about this stuff and people watching those videos and being interested will motivate me to make cool stuff, unlike what I've been sort of able to focus on in the past. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, the janky microphone setup that I have, it's literally this old tripod that's like half broken with a webcam on it, so that the microphone is closer to my face than my keyboard, so you can actually hear me instead of keyboard noises. You probably can still hear a bit of keyboard noises. OBS doesn't perfectly cut out keyboard noise with its noise suppressor. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks for watching. We have some grand plans here. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Bye.